Hey, there we are. Hello, my name's Garrick. Today we're sampling Bayonets and Tomahawks, the French and Indian War by Marc Rodrigue and GMT Games. Joining me, I have Luke.
Hello.
And Luke has been trying to get me to play this for ages, and he finally got me here. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. How'd you say it? Do you say tomahawks? I always say tomahawks.
I don't know. I've heard both. I don't think it's horribly wrong to say.
No, I think it's just how you pronounce it. I was just like, I was, it was, I just it hit my. We were talking about pronunciations and how bad this is going to be.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's maybe a good segue to mention. We're gonna get so many things wrong in this game. So many. I'm looking at the map and there's so many names I don't even begin to know how to pronounce, like this one. Uh, anyway,
yeah.
Luke, you're gonna go ahead and give a quick teach, I think, or a long
Yep.
teach. Whatever you're comfortable with, and
We'll do it.
we'll
We'll jump into
take
it.
it from there. For the stream's sake, this is which scenario precisely?
This is scenario one. So it is the year of 1755. So it's the first year of the French and Indian War.
Thank you.
So, or otherwise known to our European friends, the 7 Years' War.
Yes.
But
And then,
here, it's
yeah,
the French and Indian War.
and take it away at your leisure.
Okay, sounds good. So, for everyone, this is pretty much a normal. This is a two-player grand strategic game. So we're playing 1 year, and over the course of a year, we're going to be going through 9 action rounds, where we'll be grabbing cards, using them for action points, and then doing actions on the map, and then we'll have 3 logistics rounds where we will gain reinforcements to help fight the war. So to kind of talk through a couple different, just in general, spaces and so you all can understand the map. So if we look at the map, we have this giant map of North America at this time. So in mostly the northeast, northwest region, or sorry, northeast, not northwest. So main spaces that you to know are, so we've got our home spaces. Any of the home spaces are in the colors of their faction. So Garrick, who is the British, is going to be red, and I, as the French and Indians, are going to be the blue spaces. We have, if you have a control, if whatever color it is at the beginning, we control all the spaces right here and now. As units are going to get moved and placed in different spaces. So let's say I moved my Indian unit over here. I'm going to control the space. So I'll take my little space counter. I'll put it down. Hey, look, I control it. Woo! We keep going. So, big thing to note: if I move a unit into a settled space, and we'll talk about these little militia guys here later. Normally, I cannot just move straight into this, but if I controlled this space and I put a marker down on here, if at some point I left this space because it is settled, which is one of the it's either a 2 or a 3. It's one of the bigger spaces. It would revert control, so that token would automatically go away. So it is with Garrick and myself, if we have settled spaces, you have to keep control of them to hold on to them. Otherwise, they will go away during the game. Any of these little white spaces right here are wilderness spaces. They do not have any control. They're just spaces that we will be moving towards. Bayonets and Tomahawks is a point-to-point movement system. So we're just going to be every town and settled space and cities. Each of those is a single point, so all of our pieces are moving from point to point for all of our movements. Our outposts are these little one spaces. So we have a ton of little one spaces. These are outposts, and they have a raid value of 1. We'll talk about raiding later, but it's a main way to score victory points for the French player. British players can do it a little bit as well, but namely the French player is going to be burning the wilderness. So Garrick will look in horror as he starts to see the flames of war creeping towards him. And to be honest, they actually are flames of war up here. These are the flame tokens that you show that things are raided, and it just starts showing up everywhere. So good luck, Garrick.
Oh boy.
So, the settled spaces that I talked about before, these are the 2 or 3 numbers. That is the value for its raid, is the 2. There's also for winter quarters. We're not going to be worrying about winter quarters. It is something that if you play the campaign, it's where units are going to come back at the end of the year and stay. We don't do that because we're just in scenario 1. So we don't have to worry about that. We are just fighting the good fight of 1 year and ignoring the consequences of our actions.
It's basically like the propaganda phase of a coin game, right?
Yep, 100%. So, any space that is bordering the coast is a coastal space. That is important for it being adjacent to the sea zone that it is next to. So there are two sea zones. There's the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of St. Lawrence. These are the two sea zones. They're split right here on this line in the northeast part of the map. And so this is important for ships and sailing around the map. At the beginning of this scenario, Garrick does not have a lot of places he can sail. I have a lot more options, and this is shown by at the top right over here, the open seas. But we'll talk about that in 1 second. Any of the gold circled spaces are victory spaces. So the goal of the game of Bayonets and Tomahawks is to achieve your victory condition. As you can see at the very top, right now it's the victory tracker starts at the 1 space for the French. If I keep it at 1 or less on my side, I will win this scenario. If Garrett gets it to 1 or greater on his side at the end of the year, he will win the scenario. So it's a little tug of war that we'll be continually doing. This is one of my first war games, so if there are other games that Garrick knows that are like this, he can share that, but I do not know. So
I think Twilight Struggle is maybe the big one to mention there.
Okay. So yeah, so any of these spaces, what the number is the number of victory points. So if, let's say, Garrick took Lewisburg up here, he would gain 3 points. So that'd be a big swing, and it would move it up or down, depending on who regained or took control. We also have French fortress spaces. These are any of these spaces that have looks like a little fortress with all the little stars pointing out from it. Also has the bastions, which are the little fort things that say no retreat on them up here. We will talk about those later, but namely, those are, for me, very heavily reinforced places that are hard for Garrick to go after and to attack. Okay, Garrick, anything you think I need to clarify in that? That's mostly just the spaces, and then we could talk about the general connections and stuff, and then we can talk about units, and then we can kind of move into sequence of play, if that's all good.
Yeah, I think you can keep going.
Okay, so namely, the main connections are highways. Highways are the big, thick bordered areas. Any unit can move along a highway. You've got paths. Paths are the little dotted areas. Only light units can move along these. So as you're going to see in this game, we might have these really big, strong army stacks, but they have very limited access to where they can move. And as Garrick is showing over here, there is a limit to the maximum amount of units that can move per path or highway. Highways can move 16 units in a stack, so they can move a ton of units. Paths can only move 4 at a time, so there's a limit to what paths can do. And then later on in the game, we can build roads. So they'll first start out as constructions, and then we can flip them over and make it a road. And a road can then change a path into a way for our square units that are the regiments, or circle units like the artillery. They can move through connections that they previously could not, which could save some movement points, which is very helpful. And the last thing are coastal connections. So if you see anything that has a blue outline, so that's a coastal connection highway. These are coastal connection paths. What that means is that they're treated like regular paths or highways, but fleets can also move along them. So fleets are the circles. I don't think we start out with any fleets here in this scenario. We'll gain them as we get to the fleets arrive step, which is the first logistics round, which is right over here. So we'll have 2 action rounds, and then we'll have the fleets arrive. So we get our fleets from Europe, get all our resources and everything. So I talked briefly about the sea zones before. We've got the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Right here, it's going to be what you're going to use these for is the sail movement. We'll talk about what the sail movement is. But primarily, it is how we will then you'll sail troops up to this top right box, and then they will be able to just from this top right box sail to any settled space or other space that is connected to that sea zone. The open seas depends, it says who controls it. So right now it starts out French controlled. What this means is I can sail pretty much anywhere. I have naval dominance and I am controlling everything. But if Garrick takes Lewisburg up here, that will allow him to start to attack everything in the Gulf of St. Lawrence and have greater access and use of his ships. In the first scenario that we're doing, it's probably not going to come up much. It's a very quick scenario overall, and so it's not going to be. Garrick will not have a lot of time to do this. If he wants to, he can definitely try. But it's something that if we were playing either a later scenario or the campaign, would have a greater chance for him to be like, yeah, I can invest in this, I can take this, and this will help me out for future turns.
Mm-hmm.
So we have colonies. They are these shaded areas that are either red or gray. Home spaces are located on the colonies, except for some outposts, and they're kind of just there to give a name and a faction that's correlated to. Mostly for our reasons, some troops are designated to where they go, like are placed in the board based off their colony space. So when Garrick has colonials enlist, which is right here, he is going to be able to get troops from the colonies that will help him, and they will be placed in very specific spots based off the colonies that are on their name. So that's really the main reason we have them. Finally, we also have the last thing about the map. We have the Indian nations. So they are down here. And these are very important because if you move into, there's neutral at the very beginning of the game, as shown by the little box where it says neutral. But if any of us move a single piece into one of the towns for the nations, they will automatically switch to the opponent's side and give that opponent units. So the Cherokee Nation will give 2 Indian units, and the Iroquois Confederacy will give 3 Indian units, which is a big deal. They both have really strong connections in regards to what they allow access to, and also just getting 3 or 2 free more like units is very powerful in this game, because we only have like our reinforcements. We'll only get like 5 or 6 extra units in the game, so gaining a swing of 3 or 2 could be the winning step in a scenario. So any questions from the chat, or I'm trying to see if there's anything.
I think you're good to keep going.
Okay, sweet. We'll keep going. So mainly there are a couple different types of units. We've got our light units that are triangular. So you've got Indian, like these units right here. They have the green bar on the bottom. You've got French light, which are blue, and then you also have British light, who are either red. This is a British Indian unit, and then there are British red units. Trying to see if there's a red unit that's not a colonial. I'm not seeing one right now in this scenario, but you also have your colonials. If it's brown, it's also under Garrick's purview. So he's got brown and red, and I've got white and green. So we have brigades. Those are the square units. So this is a brigade right here. Metropolitan are the ones that have the crowns for the British, or the fleur-de-lis for the French. I think there's a French one. No, actually, I don't start out with any. I just have normal non-metropolitan here. The non-metropolitan are going to be colonial for British, and they are the Canadians for the French. But namely, the reason that there's a difference there is the metropolitan, when they get destroyed, which is the little icon, they draw a war in Europe chit. And what that does is they will be placed up here, and those can give 0 to 2 victory points at the end of the game. So it can be a slight swing based on these war in Europe chits. So destroying those units can be very impactful. Sometimes it's not, but Garrick, you have Highland Brigades, which I don't think you have any out yet. They'll be in the reinforcements, but they allow you to have a reroll on that unit. So they're a little more efficient. They'll have a big H on them.
Gotcha.
Artillery are going to be the round counters. They're circular units. They are the only units that can hit bastions, which are these up here. So nothing else can hit those. So they're really tough to crack. They have limited road access, and they're limited first in a route. Also, it's really important to have artillery to fight stuff like forts, because forts give penalties if you don't have artillery to fight against them. Bastions are what I showed up here. They do not move. and they prevent overwhelm, which is a rule that we'll talk about later on, but they're very powerful. Forts are also circular units, so Garrick starts out with a fort here. He starts with a fort down here. Forts battle like other units, but they're not allowed to move. There's only one fort per space, and they prevent overwhelm. And if you are battling it without an artillery, you have battle penalties. If Garrick decided to build a fort, or I decided to build a fort in a wilderness space, so if, like, let's say we put a fort down in one of these spaces, they would be worth one raid point, so which is designated by the little one in the middle. So you can, but they're very helpful for defending and defending the areas and making it harder for me to raid, and kind of giving bases of operations for both players to fight from. We have fleets, which there are no fleets out yet because they haven't arrived, but they are only in coastal spaces or the sail box. They allow for sail movement, and they can only, if they're using army movement, which we'll talk about all those in a little bit, they can only move through coastal connections. So, as you'd guess, a ship can't go marching through the center of the map. So, no trying that gear. Finally, we have commanders. I have a commander over here. They do not actually, even though it is a square, they do not have a shape. It is just, we have not created a way to create board pieces that have no shape whatsoever. So
they basically like modify the stack they're in, right?
Yep, they're
not a unit themselves.
More efficient. Yep, they just give you something that you will then put in a reroll box, and it lets you be a little bit more efficient in your battling.
Yeah.
So they're helpful for battles. Okay, that is all kind of the generic, the map, the units. So I think if we can get started kind of talking about just how to do play and everything like that, we can teach things as we go.
Sure.
Okay, sweet. So first things first, and I will, I'll just grab one of these cards so we can kind of talk through it, and then I'll shuffle it in and we'll discuss. So these are the action cards. So what an action card will show is you'll have the title. So like this one down here is Force March. It might have an event. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there's nothing there. The event will be effectively a power or like a level or like a special action that allows for bonuses if you use this card. So for this Force March and one army movement performed by a French stack, and the word stack in this game, I've used it a little bit before, is pretty much just all the units of a single spot. And sometimes they'll say a light stack. If it's a light stack, it means only the stack is triangle units. But if it just says a stack, it means whatever units are in that spot. That's it. And so this one will allow all non-light units, so any squares, circles, to move one additional connection. So normally, we'll talk about this with movement later, there's a limit to how many spaces you can move. This would allow you to move a little faster. So as you see, there will also be a little, at the bottom left, there's something that says build up. The build up are the cards that we'll be using in the first part of the round. There's a few build up where they have less actions. It's kind of, we're slowly moving into the game. And then we'll get into the campaign deck where we'll start fighting and there'll be a lot more actions available. But you'll also see action points. So there's triangles and squares. There's also going to be a square with a little anchor on it. And all of those are the action points for the game. And so they each correlate to specific things that the units can do. Triangles are going to be used for light movement and raiding. Squares are going to be used for army movement, martial troops and construction. And then the sail will be the ones that have the little anchor, and that allows you to use your fleets and sail them around the map. If it has a 2 times, it allows you to have a little bit of special AP use. It's a double movement, so it lets you either move it twice its point movement limit, raid twice the distance if it's a light or Indian AP, or you can sail and land. So normally you can only sail, and then the next turn you'll land, but it lets you to sail and then land in one single turn. So it kind of lets you have a really powerful, like, 2-for-1 attack. But just know that if we need to do an action, we're going to be using these as a point to do an action, and they will match the stack that sorry. They will match what the shape is. The big thing about the squares is squares can be used for the triangles, but triangles cannot be used for the squares. It's a little that might be a little confusing, but
It's a
know
square
that
rectangle thing.
yeah, it's a square rectangle thing. It's the light units have a lot more freedom. They really can do mostly everything, but the squares have a lot more restrictions. So okay, so yeah, that is kind of in general what the card shows. The last thing that the card shows at the very bottom is a little die with a number. And if you look at it, so this one is a 5. So when at the very beginning of the round, we will both be choosing our action card, and then we will reveal it all at the same time. Whoever has the higher number has the initiative, and they will get to go first. And then
Don't they choose who goes first?
They are sorry, yes, they choose who goes first. You're correct. They choose who goes first. And then if it's a tie, the French player wins the tie. So they get to then choose in ties. You're correct. Sorry. Didn't even speak about that. Yes. So we will do that at the very beginning of every round. So the first things first, to get started on all this, is Garrick, need to shuffle our build-up decks. And then we are going to draw, and I want to make sure I don't mess this up.
It's draw 2, pick 1?
Yes. Yep. Draw 2, pick 1, and then we'll discard the other. And this will be our reserve card for the beginning of the game. So yeah, whenever you're ready, I have chosen mine.
I think I've chosen.
Okay. So now we have a reserve card. So what will happen is at the beginning of every action round, which we are in action round 1, which is designated right here, we are going to then draw another action card from our build-up deck right here. And so you'll draw one. You'll look at it in comparison to the cards you have. And then you are going to choose one to reveal for this round. The other one will stay in your hand as your reserve. I also am going to draw I'm going to shuffle this, and I will draw an Indian card. So I will have a French action card and an Indian action card. Well, Garrick will just have his British action cards.
Do you not draw 2, pick 1 for the Indians? You only get the one?
Nope, I only get the one.
Okay.
I just get is what is given to me. Okay, and then we reveal all at the same time.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, so we both have 6s, so I will get to choose who goes first. And so I'm going to look at what the card is for you. This is cards like this are very fun. It's like great. Thank you. Okay, so I will have Garrett go first.
Okay. And then I have an AR start event, so that resolves before we do anything, right?
Yep. So what this will do is you are able to I choose one French brigade to eliminate. So I have, I think, only 2. I don't think that there's any others in this scenario. I think they're just the ones that are over here. So bye Canadian. So they're going to the losses box. That was mean, Garrick.
You're welcome.
That was so mean. Okay, so now we are here. So we have revealed. We are now you're going to perform your action phase. Then I'll perform my action phase. And then you can use your reaction AP if you've chosen to do that.
Right.
So, namely, a reaction AP, and what that means is that you can place one of the reaction little chits on top of an action point of your choosing. And it allows you to have a reaction to whatever I do. I think it's very powerful. A lot of times I use it. It just kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility because you are going first. And so it lets you to kind
It
of,
lets
and
you
especially
it lets
with
you
the
bank
British.
one of the actions you have for after the other player's turn, right?
100%. And the thing that's really nice about it for the British in regards to like overall kind of meta strategy is that the British have more action points overall, and so it's kind of nice for them to be able to split them up a little bit more so that they can have more flexibility in what they're doing.
So
Okay.
so right now I have one square anchor action, one triangle action, and then I have a bonus triangle from the Indian card, right? No, that's the French card.
That's the
I'm
French
British.
card. Yep, you're British. So
So
that
it's
is
just
for
the
me.
two.
Yep. So what you can do with your triangle, you either have your movement or you have rating. So what we'll talk about rating. What rating is that you will take a triangle unit, you will take it, you will move it, and you can move it up to 3 spaces, which is also for reminder is shown over here with the movement points. And they have a nice little one with the doubled. They show how many movement points something has. But what that will do is you can move 3 spaces. You can be like, well, let me find a good one for this. 1, 2. Let's say we'll go here. Let's say your Mohawk unit moved from Albany and it went up. So let's say its destination was the island. No, oh good gosh, it already started.
Isle Noir, we'll say.
People should just watch it for at least the the names getting completely wrong. So, oh, I see over the moor. So there's word. No, the teacher have no idea what's going on. Just the same as me. No,
But they've never enjoyed spectating more.
hey, that's good. Okay, so you can move it up to 3 points, which we showed, and then we will see if there's an interception on each space. What an interception is that if you have units, either light units or non-light units, there's a chance for them to stop your unit from raiding. So you moved from Albany to Lake George. There's no opponent units there, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, you would start with checking Albany, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Checking Albany, there's nothing there. Then you check Lake George. Then now you got to Ticonderoga. So Ticonderoga, there's a fort, so I would roll a die. For a success, I'd have to get a flag. So we haven't really shown the die yet, but there's a blank side, a Bayonet Tomahawk side, a flag side, a square circle, a triangle circle, and then another flag. So I think there's 2 flags, and then one of all the other faces. And so I would need to roll a flag to intercept. If I didn't roll a flag, Garrick would continue moving on. There's no enemy units here, so he wouldn't have to worry. And then he would get to roll for rating. So he'd roll 1 die for each unit that is there. And if he got a flag, a triangle, or a bayonet, a tomahawk, he would succeed. What that would do, if it failed, he would go back to the starting space, so it automatically send him back. And let's say that also, if this got intercepted, it would also send his unit back to its origination. You'll put a spent marker there. So whenever we do these things, we'll put spent markers down to show we've used those units. If it succeeds, and the rain unit is non-Indian, it will go back to its starting space. If it's Indian, it will go to the friendly losses box. This is the raiders going home to their plunder. And then we will place a rated marker on that space. So Garrick would, let's say he raided this, he would place this rated marker there because you can only raid a spot once per year. So effectively in this scenario, if we raid it once, it's done being raided. We can't raid it again. And then you will move your raid point up on this track 1 space. It's 1 because it is equal to the number of the space right there. So there, as you can see, there are spaces that are 2 or 3. Those have higher raid values. What happens is when you get to the top of this track, you get to score 1 victory point and then you reset to the bottom. So,
and if you have any carryover raid points, you'd keep going once you.
Yes, correct. Yep. That is correct. So, let me double check to make sure there wasn't anything there. Big thing is that there's a fort on a wilderness space. The fort counts as 1 point for it. So,
gotcha.
Okay. Do you have any questions on rating?
I think that was explanatory.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Oh, I guess the other thing is that the intercepting unit of rating does not get like spent by intercepting. So if like multiple units went through that space, it it's not like, oh, I went through it. It tried to stop me and it's done. It can stop anything continually during the rest of the game
Yeah.
or the rest of that round. So okay, so now we're gonna talk about movement. So we is a stack is moving from one space to another. So we got army movement, light movement, and sail movement. So the maximum number is shown over here. So your triangles move faster, they can move 3 spaces. Your squares, your commanders, and your artillery pieces can move 2. And then your fleets can move 2, but it has to be on a coastal space, or they if with like what Garrick had with the he has his sail square. That allows him to have sail movement, which lets him move his fleets into the sail box at the top right, which we're not going to go into that much detail right now because at this moment he doesn't have any fleets. So it is not super useful at the moment. Okay. So anytime you're moving along connections, a single point to point is one of your movement points. So right now with Garrick, you have with your triangle, you have 3 movement points with the triangle. So you can move a stack 3 spaces. It can pick up or drop off as many pieces as it wants along that path, but you cannot split the movement points up. So you can't like let's say you had a stack of 2. You can't go like one to the left and one to the right
Yeah.
of a connection. It is only like along a path that you can go. Okay. One thing so we're gonna talk about outnumbering and overwhelming. So, namely, if you move into a space with a bunch of other enemy units, and we haven't done that yet, but let's say I had these 3. I'll grab this one for the 4th. Let's say I moved into Willis Creek. I would exceed the ratio. There's 4 units here, and there's 1 unit of yours. I would exceed the ratio by more than 3 to 1. So I outnumber you. What this does, it allows me to overwhelm you. And what that means is you have to retreat. So your unit would automatically have to run away.
I have to retreat immediately because the alternative is that we would hang around and fight at the end of the action phase, right?
Well, if you're overwhelmed, you have to retreat. You don't even get to the chance to fight. So if you have
that's what I'm saying.
Military, yeah. Yes, it makes it that if you have superior like military force, the units are running away because they're like, I can't fight this battle.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get these units separate. Okay. I just need to make sure one thing. Did you have any questions on really with everything else? It's just that we just need to make sure that anything that's moving has to move on the right paths that it's allowed to move on. So like your squares can move on the highways and roads. Your triangles can move pretty much anywhere.
And as we move, we have to pay attention to taking control of spaces or losing control of spaces.
Correct. And if you move into a spot with an enemy, your movement ends.
Unless you overwhelm.
Yes, unless you overwhelm.
And once it's ended, those people will be stuck there and will potentially fight.
Yep, we'll put a battle marker down and then we'll fight at the end of the action.
Yeah.
Let me make sure there isn't anything else I'm missing.
And you mentioned this earlier, but if you or I move into one of the Indian reservations, then it converts that reservation to the other player's control.
Correct. Trying to make sure. There was one thing I thought I read and making sure. Your sail / army AP, that's right here. It can, so since you have no fleets, you can just use it as an army AP.
Yeah.
So just want to make sure that was known. But yes, the other thing you can use, so we got 2 more things with the squares. Construction. Construction allows you to take one of these little construction markers and place it down in a space that you have a square. So let's say you had the 35th and New York companies here. You could spend your square icon to start the construction of a fort. It'd be for this action round, you'd start that. And then on the next action round, you could use one of those square action points to then flip it. Or this one isn't flipped. This one just actually leaves.
This one converts to a
and
fort, right?
converts into a fort.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you have a road, you'll have it as the construction. You'll place it on a connection next to your army as a construction, and then the next turn it would flip after you spent an action point to flip it. You cannot, it is very specific that it is per action round, so you cannot like build a fort with one action point and then or start construction and then construct the fort in that same action round. It has to be a different action round that you do it.
Yeah. And when you finish constructing a road, you have to then move across it immediately, don't you?
Let me double check. I actually forget.
I thought I remembered reading that because I was like, oh, that's a little funny.
Yes, that is correct. Yep. Non-spent units from the same stack may join. Which is interesting. It lets you to maybe have a way to quickly move across the board if you're doing it. Right?
Yeah.
But I'd say a place where I could see that being useful is like up here for Ticonderoga from number 4, where it's like you're in number 4 holding out and you just have a sneak attack to Ticonderoga.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
And then the last one is martial troops. So we'll kind of show this for a quick example. I'm going to grab those and I'll grab that. So let's say you use martial troops. You would pick a non-light unit on the target space. So it can be artillery, it can be a brigade, it can be a commander, fleet, or a fort. And then you can move as many units as desired that are in spaces adjacent to the target space to that space. So then this would allow you to like consolidate very quickly and move all those units in.
It's basically gather from Spirit Island.
Yes.
It sucks in adjacent stuff.
What it does do, though, is we'll have one of these martial troops added to it. So it's a little battle penalty because you're getting organized. That make sense?
I think so.
Okay, I'll put these all.
Yeah, I have no clue where those were.
I have my
Your diagram
set up. So yep, I've got it all up. I'm ready. I know where things are moving. And that's pretty much it. We'll talk about battling when we get there, but pretty much if enemy pieces are together at the end of an action round, that's when we start fighting.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that's pretty much it with right now. Thank you for all bearing with me as I talked through the action and everything. So,
in a somewhat typical war game fashion, it's not super complicated, but there's a lot of it. You know?
Yeah. It takes time. It takes time to go through.
Yeah. All right, so I have a triangle action and I have a square with an anchor action, and I have absolutely zero clue what I want to do.
So I'd say, so what I would say are good things to do at the very beginning are, so your goals are to take my gold spaces.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to start moving towards where there are gold spaces. Another thing to realize is that any of the text that is for a space that's gold is like that, there'll be gold as well.
It's a good call out.
So if you can't see it because of the units on top, if you see the text being gold, it is also that. So really powerful, like, because you just need to take 2. A really powerful area to take is up here in Acadie. I'm so sorry for everyone who is French or Canadian, and I am messing it up horribly. I'm so sorry. And Arcanum, I did at the very beginning, but I'll reinforce that right now. So Garrick's end of year goals are to take 2 of my gold spaces, 2 of my victory point spaces. My year-end goal is to take 1 of Garrick's settled spaces, so any of the spaces that are 2 or more. So that is what I'm going to be trying doing. So for Garrick, he wants to be able to take the gold spaces. And so for him, some of the easier ones to take are going to be up here in Acadie. And then there's also here in the center of Montreal, the Bay de whatever it is here. This one right here, and then also Ticonderoga. So there's a couple different areas that are kind of pretty close. Oh, also Forks of the Ohio is also one down here. So there are a couple kind of on the border that Garrett can threaten. Obviously, the Forks of the Ohio is going to be a lot more if he would need light units to do that. So he needs to make sure he has enough light units to kind of take it over. Or he needs to start building out roads to go towards that. And then really there's a lot of ones in the center that he could go for. But also in terms of like what he has a stack towards, Acadie is also a solid option.
Yeah, I was gonna
to
say
access.
it looks like I have fairly thin forces further south.
You
If
do right now. I will tell you that that's where your majority of your reinforcements are going to be coming from. Is
Gotcha.
going to be down here in the southern portion. Now, obviously, you will be able to sail with them. So, let's say you got units in like Boston, and you had a fleet. You could sail them up to the sea box, and then later on sail them down to Halifax or Annapolis, and
Hmm.
then be able to start supplying and reinforcing and everything. So, but that's in general kind of the thoughts. The other thing with your light AP is to one of the things you can always also do is move your light units into specific areas that can help you intercept. So if you see kind of like, oh well, I'm gonna be raiding a lot. So like all of your spaces, what you'd like to do is to move to like over here
Right.
where it provides access to multiple spots, where it makes it that if I'm going to raid you, I have to go through it and have a chance of failing my action.
And that's a good
And
call out
so
specifically because you have 3 triangles this turn and
yes,
no anchors. So you won't be doing any sea movement
or square movement. I will
or
not be
square
moving
movement. Yeah.
my army stacks. I'm going to be only using my light units.
Yeah. So honestly, I think let's keep things simple. I do like a lot the idea of moving this guy 1, 2, 3. And then, if only to demonstrate it, but also because I don't know what to do, I'm going to
Do a reaction.
do a reaction.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. So I have no Indian unit that can be activated this action round because of my let's see how the French fight. Um, Historically, this is because the Indian they were pissed off at a French guy, so they were like, okay, let's see him fight. So okay, so I've got 3 French triangles. So what I'm gonna do with that is I am. Ooh, I'd like to move both of those at the same time. Okay, so I've got this guy. I've got some of these up here.
And to reinforce for
Uh,
everyone at home, all of these triangles that are like cream color with green are Indian pieces, so you can't move those this turn, right?
yes, that is correct. Okay, so I'm gonna grab these 2 right here that are on Montreal, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
You're taking this guy
Uh,
too.
yes, yep. So that's my first triangle. My second triangle is going to be. I'm gonna move that guy right there to defend up there. And then my third triangle is going to be I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to this spot to raid. So you have no units. Militia can't intercept, which are the little people right here.
Hmm.
And so I will roll 1 dice. So see if I get a successful raid.
Is it 1 or 1 per unit?
Sorry, let me double check that.
I actually don't know.
I'm trying to double check.
Okay, if you're raiding, you activate a single light unit anyway.
Yes.
So one of these guys is still home.
Yes, that is correct. Yep, you are correct. It is just 1 unit. Yep. So, okay. So I will roll for the single unit. That is a success because I got a triangle. So that unit is going to go back to Fort City, Ohio. I will grab one of. Oop, that's yours. Grab one of these. So I raided Carlisle. I get 2 raid points. And then I'll put a spent marker over here. And that is it. That was my 3. So
Okay, and now because I banked a reaction, I have the 1 square with an anchor that I perform now, correct?
yep.
Um, let's see. I don't love what just happened down in Carlisle. There's more targets for you down there. Is there a way for me to try and shore up that area? Let's see, a square has 2 movement points. Um, Alternatively, maybe I try going on the offensive. Let's. This might be dumb, but it also will help demonstrate combat. So let's move my guys in there.
Okay. We'll put a battle marker there. Okay.
Okay, that was my one action.
Okay. We will talk about battle. Woo. Good job, Gary. Okay. So I am the defender because I had units on the space at the beginning of the action round.
Yep.
There's a couple other priorities of defender depending on how everything works, but for right now, I am the defender. So we first prepare the stack. So if we have militia, which would be the little militia guys, which we do not have, we would place them in our stack. They help add extra rolls for the battle. There's no militia at this place, so you don't have to worry about it. If you have 2 fleets on a battle space and 1 artillery unit is in your artillery pool or losses, you can eliminate a fleet and replace with 1 artillery unit. So it allows you to quickly get an artillery unit for the battle. And then if we have reduced units, so what we haven't really shown here yet is if you flip over the pieces, they have a reduced side, the little bloody side. That means they're reduced. If a unit gets hit again after it's reduced, it gets eliminated from the board and gets placed in the losses box. So the Indian units do not have a reduced side; they just disappear. So
basically, Indians have 1 health, other units have 2 health.
Correct. Okay, so we will place our battle victory markers up at the corresponding spot. So there are no penalties. Penalties can be routing, marshaling, landing, being out of supply, or if you attack an enemy fort. So right now, Garrick has attacked an enemy fort, so Garrick will be at -1. If he had no artillery, he'd be at -2. So it's a really important thing for you to bring artillery to fight forts in this game. So great job, Garrick.
Yeah.
You're already doing great. So, okay. So what's going to happen now is Garrick is going to attack first with his units. Then I will attack with my units, even if some of my units are eliminated. Kind of like more typical war games where you still get to, at least in the ones I've played, where even if the unit's eliminated, it still gets to fight. And then we will remove all units and resolve whoever wins. So, okay. So when you do this, we're going to group it by unit type. So there's an order to how the units will attack. First, it will be light units. Then it will be brigades, so the square units, and then it will be the artillery pieces. And you'll roll out at the same time and resolve their rolls. So, Garrick, you would first be rolling for your triangle unit. So it's going to be for your little colonial guy, the Gorham group. So for you, you're going to roll a die. So we'll just say an example. So just roll a die. This isn't the actual roll, but we'll roll it and talk through it.
Here we go.
Okay, that was a miss. Let's change it to a number that. Come on, Garrick. What are you doing?
I'm failing.
Do something for the. Okay, so let's say Garrick rolled the triangle. Great job, Garrick.
Woo!
So first thing you gotta do is you gotta make sure that the shape matches one of the shapes on the, like your unit shape matches the shape of the die, to see if a hit is scored. Um, and so a triangle, the triangles are with the little blood, that's the hit. That's the one that you're wanting to do to actually achieve hits. Um, so because let's say you're trying to get a hit, that triangle would be great. Um, Otherwise, a flag is good. Whenever you have a flag, anytime is a success. Which for a hit is going to be, it matches your unit that rolled the die, and then it matches one of the units in the defender or attacker's force. So if Garrick had rolled that triangle, it would have it would have been successful because he has a triangle unit and I have a triangle unit. And what that just does is it moves it up one. If your marker is less than 0, even if you rolled a successful hit, it does not count until you're above 0. So you want to get above 0 to actually start dealing hits. So the earlier you get above 0, the more damage you're going to do in battle. So it's like the light units are skirmishing, they're helping out, and then the bigger guns like the artillery and the brigades are going to start actually doing a lot of damage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so the flags will advance the battle victory marker one position. There's no hits, but they're kind of just like tactical prowess had happened. If you roll a bayonet and a tomahawk, which is the bayonet and tomahawk side of the die, light units or militia don't get anything from this, but metropolitan brigades lets them hit either enemy militia or metropolitan brigade can remove enemy brigades with this as well. Normal brigades, it's only removing militia, and the artillery, forts, or bastions allows you to remove enemy brigades and also advance the victory marker one position. So it's very powerful for your bayonet and tomahawk is very powerful for your squares and your circles. So it's another side of the die that actually matters. Okay. We don't have any commanders right now, but they'll do rerolls. We'll talk about that whenever we get to that with one of our battles. But how hits are applied. Each player chooses how to apply enemy hits to your own units, but if it's reduced, you have to then eliminate it if you have another hit dealt. So that's just what has to happen. So units die first. You can't. It's not like in other games where you can like have a bunch of sacrificial units that are all at half health. So, so at the end, after we've done all the rolls, the attacker will win if the victory marker is at a higher position on the battle track than the defender marker. Otherwise, the defender wins. So I win ties, or I win if I'm just higher than you.
Yeah.
A stack will also automatically lose if you have no units left, regardless of the battle track. So if all units are killed, the defender wins. If all the attacker units are killed, the defender also wins.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll apply there's a bunch of procedures, but we will not talk about that right now. We'll just do it when we get to it. So,
Oh, thank you, Commando
okay.
Solo, for the 50 bits.
Garrick, you want to get us started and start?
Sure. Let me, so I roll one die for the light unit, and then I'll roll one die for the brigade, and then one for the artillery, right?
Correct. That is correct.
So here's my light unit roll, my triangle. Hey, that's a hit.
Hey, that is a hit. So it
Advances
moves up one
forward
space.
Yep.
But it does not deal any hit because we're still below 0.
Yeah. So now I roll for my brigade, which is a metropolitan brigade, right? Because it has the crown on it.
Yep.
Okay.
That is a square.
That's a square, but you don't have a...
I do not have any squares.
Yeah.
So the hit is, I just want to make sure, it should not be scored.
Yeah, I don't believe it's a hit.
Yep. So it does not move. So nothing happens. So
and
now
then
you're gonna roll for your artillery.
Yep.
Flag, so it moves up one.
Yep.
Okay.
And now you'll roll 2 dice for your 2 infantry.
That is correct. And then I'll roll 1 for my artillery.
Thanks, Commando Solo.
Okay. So the bayonet doesn't do anything, but the flag
advances
does.
1.
And then I will roll for, this is for the fort.
Yep.
A miss. Okay. So no hits were dealt, but the defender tied. So Garrick is going to have to retreat.
Yep.
He did not win the battle. So he just will go back to Halifax. And so we can talk a little bit about retreat properties, but um you okay, I'm trying to find the really easy retreat parties. So
Yeah, there's like a whole priority list, and you have to
yes.
go down the list, right?
Yep.
Is it under
So
somewhere?
adjacent retreat space may be a friendly home space without enemy units, a friendly space without enemy units, a wilderness space or friendly Indian village without enemy units, an enemy controlled space or enemy Indian nation village without enemy units or militia. So really for you, you can either go to Anilap,
Annapolis Royal.
yeah, I can't even pronounce it. Oh my gosh. That was a struggle, or Halifax. Those are going to be the spaces you can go. I
Yeah.
don't think you can go to Point St. Anne because let me double check because it is my controlled space. Yes, you cannot go there because it is my home space, and so you cannot like move forward through it then. So
All right, we'll just move back to Halifax because it seems like a bad idea to leave my true value space undefended. Well, it has militia dudes, but you know what I mean.
yep. So okay, that was it for this action round. So let's. Oh good gosh, get off that.
This mod could use a button to remove all spent tokens.
Yes. We'll add it in the future if we end up liking this. I've enjoyed it, but if we keep streaming it, then I'll have Garrick. I'll have you clean it up.
Yeah, the expert coder I am.
Yep, super good. Okay, then let me double check. So the last thing we do in an action round is we will then check to see if units. Just go through the right order of it. Sorry, have this rule right up. I closed my book. Okay. So we discard our play cards face down. So they go away. So now all these just go face down to our discard pile. We will then remove spent markers, which we did. We will any landing and martial markers would go away. So the -1s will disappear after this round.
Yeah, all the combat penalties.
Yep. Supply check. So now we're gonna check to make sure everything is in supply. What that means, and everything should be right now, is that as long as you can trace a unit back to a friendly home space, a friendly colony home space, so something that has your color in a space that is also within the colored area of the map, as long as units can trace a path back to that, they are in supply. So for light units, it's just any it can be paths, it can be highways. For your brigades, it's a much more it has to be through highways, or it can be, I think, in roads. And so you just need to make sure everything is in supply, because if it is not, if it can't connect back to a spot. So like for example, my unit right here, my units right here, my 2 light, they can trace a route back to a friendly home colony space. They just go 1, 2. There's nothing controlling the spot behind them, so I don't have to worry about them being out of supply. But let's say your piece was right here, Garrick. I mean, there's multiple ways to get around it, but if they were like totally cut off, let's say they're like up here and then you surrounded them,
Yeah.
they'd be out of supply. They'd have a -1 to their future combat rolls. It'd hurt them. So you want to make sure units are in supply. Otherwise, you can start having battle penalties, and that can be harmful for your next round. Finally, if a unit is routed, you can try to rally it so they can stop being routed and have the -1 penalty. And now we'll just advance to the round marker and start the next action round. So, woohoo! We got through one. Okay, so next thing we'll do is we'll grab another card. And then we'll choose the card to play.
Give me just a moment. I gotta read this one.
No worries.
Oh, that's a cool effect, but I don't think that does anything for us right now. Okay, ready?
Yep.
double checking. It's not a problem that this one has got 1755 and 1756 on it, is it?
So 17, it means that it's used in our scenario of 1755 or 1756.
Got it.
And so we are correct. That is the right one to have in there.
Okay.
But it'd be worried if and I had checked all this before, but if I had missed one, it would be like if 1757 or 1758 were in here, that'd be wrong because
Gotcha.
we shouldn't be using those for the build up. So we are good.
Okay, and then your initiative is 5 to my 4, so you get to choose who goes first.
Yes. I think I am going to go first for this round.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this reaction, place it on this, because I would like to have a reaction. And so I have two triangles. I have an Indian triangle, which is double, and then I also have a normal triangle. So let me see what I can do with an Indian triangle that's double. I think it's going to get really heated in here in the future. So I'm going to take Delaware. I'm going to move it up to the Cowichanolane. Then I'm going to move it another one to Gnadenhutten. Move it one to Minisink. And then finally with my fourth, because this is, I'm using 4 out of the 6 for my double.
Yep.
I am moving up to Kingston.
Well, I don't like that at all.
And I'm going to raid. So you got no units to stop me. So woohoo! Success. So this is an Indian unit, so it will go away to my losses box. And so I will grab a raid. I go up 2. And that is it for the Indian card. Your turn, Garrick. And I also, or I guess
You
sorry,
have one
I
more
have to do
triangle.
I
Yeah.
have my one more triangle. Sorry. I will use. I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, and I'm just moving. So I'm gonna gain control of these spots. Yep. And I should. Oh no, that right one way, so I don't have to put this map. Okay, your turn, Garrick.
Joy, oh joy. Square with anchor, square without anchor, and a triangle. What to do, what to do? It feels very hard to defend all of this.
Yes, that is the point.
How terrible.
So I would say one thing that is nice are forts, because forts can help you intercept more. Those can be very helpful, and because you don't have a lot of light units to use to kind of hold down areas. So getting your brigades and things out to spaces where they can start building are also it is very useful because it can help cut off spaces from being able to be raided.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom's hopping in chat being like, build forts.
And Garrick, all your forts are up here on the top right.
Yeah. Yep. Let's... All right, if we're working with the idea that we need to build forts, Let's think about where we need to build them. Uh, Obviously, the higher value spaces are the higher target for raids. So those are the places to defend. I suppose let's...
And don't forget, Garrett, these like you have a path
Yeah, I've got
over
a...
here.
Yeah, I've got a water movement with the anchor, right?
Yep. Well, and that's really just for the ships. It also counts as a normal highway for
Oh,
you.
right.
Yes, Arcanum, you're right. The wall of 2 raid spots are like my top top priorities. There's a lot of good victory points that I can gain if I successfully raid down there.
All right, I'm gonna move this guy 1-2. I'm gonna move this stack. Let's go to Rumford. And then that leaves me with a triangle to do something with. What are my boys up to? He's just hanging out in Albany. He's hanging out there. He's hanging out here. Let's... Where do they move? 3? Let's take this guy. No, don't like that either. Wasn't trying to take forever on this. Let's
No, you're fine. This is your first game. Ask questions. We're showing the stream how good Garrick is at French and Indian war politique.
not good. That's how good. It's a big map. I'm just trying to think about
it is a big map. That's the biggest. I think the hardest thing with jumping into this is it's so big. It's vast, which I think actually is one of the coolest things about this is like it is not like a small war game where it's like, oh, there's only a couple. It's like, nope, there is so much. It is so open.
I'll that guy's there. Oh goodness, that's a 3 space. Let's go with pushing. How many more turns do we have? We've got.
So we're only on our second action round. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 7 more action rounds.
Let's actually try raiding with this guy. 1, 2, 3 to allow presentation.
Okay.
I know British aren't supposed to raid very much, but I'm at a loss. Awesome.
So you just would effectively just run back.
Yep.
So, okay.
And that's me.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to use my army AP, and I'm going to use the force march. So this will give me one additional connection. So I'm going to take the units that are in Quebec. So I'm going to take this stack and go 1. And I'll pick up these. Oh wait, it's all light. So or it's all. I can't have light in it, so I will not pick them up. So 1, 2, and then 3. So normally I could only move 2 spaces per
But your
movement
event
action.
was giving you +1
Yep.
with non-lights.
Oh, gosh darn it. There's a little bit of how these.
TTS doesn't do stacks super well.
No, it does not. So that is where they move. So I'm not going to put the spent because it does not really matter for this. And so yeah, so we'll discard our cards. And we will then move on to the first. We'll discard all the spent tokens. And we'll move on to the first logistics round. So fleets arrive. So welcome to the fleets arrive step. So I have it on my little little scenario sheets, but also you can see it right over. You can see it over on these. So there are numbers of counters that are going to be pulled from the pool. So Garrick, you're going to be drawing from the fleets pool, and then your metropolitan pool, and then I will draw from metropolitan pool. So you're going to draw 5 from this fleets pool, and then you're going to draw 3 tokens from the metro pool, and then I will draw 3 tokens from my metro pool. And then we will talk about where they get placed and everything. So draw your 5 from the fleets.
All right. One at a time or like all in the pool?
You can just draw them one at a time. It's fine. Okay.
And these are all going in the box up here? Or somewhere else?
Sorry, 1 second. So you're gonna place all your drawn units on the map, followed by me. And we will draw, and we will do all the draws first. So you drew this for the fleet pool. So now draw 3 from the metro pool.
Oh. So sad.
I'm gonna flip that over. So that's good. 2 artillery units is nice. Fewer troops is not nice.
Yeah. Some good, some bad.
Ooh. That's a good draw for me. Okay. So then, so these are the reinforcements. So reinforcements must be placed on a friendly coastal home space or a captured enemy coastal home space of a friendly sea zone. So the second one doesn't apply for us right now. And then, so you'll first put your fleets down, and then other units may only be placed in space where fleets have been placed this logistics round. So by placing your fleets, you're like, okay, my ships have brought units over. This is where they're going.
Gotcha.
So I put them down here. So, and then if no friendly fleets have been placed, all reinforcements are placed on a single legal space. So if like I had not had a single ship,
you would have picked one spot.
Yep, would have picked one spot. So Garrick, you will be placing your pool things down first. So you've got 4 ships. You've got this Royal Highland. And then you also get to pick 2 artillery units. So you just get to grab 2 artillery units to also have for your pool to put down. Because I have this Bearn and Guyane, it has a little commander. So I just grab a commander
Gotcha.
from up here. And so, but I think it's a 1 that I grab. It'll check that.
Okay, so these ships can go on any of my coastal cities?
Yep. So it could be in Halifax, could be like up there, could be at Annapolis Royal. Could be down in New England and any of those coastal spots.
Mm-hmm. Let's Philadelphia. New York, Boston, and Halifax. Okay. And then do I place the rest of my troops
Yes.
now? Okay.
Yep.
Let's put the Royal Highlands.
So I actually need to put all of these commanders face down. And then
To New York. And then my 2 artillery.
draw this one.
One in Halifax and one in Boston. Down here.
Remember, artillery is best against forts.
Right. So I'm basically posturing whether I want to point cannons towards Forks of the Ohio or Ticonderoga as a potential in the future. Let's go, Boston. Okay.
So I can put it at any friendly coastal home spaces.
Highland troops are stronger too with some reroll.
Sorry. Wait, double check that. I think. Yes, Highland troops are strong with the reroll. So this unit right here is very strong. So for Garrick.
Perfect.
Okay, so I've got 3 brigades, my ship, and the commander. Interesting. Do I put it into Quebec? Or do I think about the north? That's a big question. One quick second. Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't know if this changes anything for you, Garrett, but okay. I was looking at it and I was trying to make sure. So the vagrancy of war, the one that gave you your 2 artillery, that has the specific of like, okay, it has to be at a space that has a ship, but otherwise it can be at any of those friendly coastal spaces. So
yeah, I don't think that changes anything for me.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Because that's where I'm deciding how I want to split up my stuff.
And then these vagaries of war are discarded because they don't mention reshuffling them back in, right?
Yes, they are discarded. That's correct. So okay, I'm gonna place 2. I'm gonna put these 2 here in Quebec. And then I'm gonna place these 3 up north. At whatever this spot is. The Miramichi? Is that how you pronounce it?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Pat knows, but Pat won't tell us.
That is true. He will not. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put it at the Port La Joie. That's where I'm going
Contrary to the name, this brings me no joy.
Okay. So that is what I'm doing for logistics wrap. We are done with the fleets arrive. So we now move on to the third action round.
Okay.
Draw from the build-up deck.
Army movement formed by British stack. All 9 line. Okay, this is my version of what Luke just played.
I actually drew from the. Sorry, I drew from my discard by accident. I was like, "What am I doing?"
You fool!
Like, that doesn't. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I still think we don't have a use for that, so let's go for this. Okay. Ready.
Review.
All right. You have initiative again?
I do. I will go first again.
All right.
Take that. And so I will use. Oh, yes, that is correct.
Not that it makes a huge difference, but
no, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it does make some difference. Okay. I need to move some units. So I'm going to move. I'm going to move this unit right here. I'm going to raid. I'm going to go here and here to go to the mini sink. I'm going to try to achieve a raid. That is successful.
boo.
Unit runs back there. It is. That's +2. Let me double check something quickly. So the spent marker goes on that unit. So this unit is in that space, has a spent marker on it, but the other units are not spent. And then I am going to use the Indian unit's AP action point to try to go for Easton. So you get to roll for an interception.
Okay.
You need a flag.
Like that.
Yep. Good job. So that unit goes back. Okay. Your turn, Garrick.
Okay. 2 squares and a triangle.
You also have fleets, so now you can use the sail.
Yeah, I really don't know what to do with my fleets.
Arcanum's like, this would be a neat turn, and Garrick's like, I have no idea why it's
right.
neat. Garrick furiously messaging Arcanum.
Tell me everything, Tom. What do I do? In lieu of better plans, let's use the normal square to start construction in there. Tom says I should be doing offshore bombardment. Did I just blink when I read that section of the rulebook?
I don't think there's. Wait, is it?
Tell me, Tom, how do I bomb him?
I think it's using that to because let me see, double check something. This fort right here is a coastal space. So that might be what he's talking about. Because if you have two ships that go here, what they do then is they can turn into an artillery, but also they can fight. So like this is a place where if you can get into it, you can attack and start attacking Acadie.
It's fair.
First time machine, second killer, third bomb.
Interesting point.
What, killing Hitler? That's the interesting point.
I guess if I were going to coordinate sending ships to this fort, I'm just not sure. Is that a 2? Let's use the other square. We're gonna move these here. We'll drop off the ship, move this here. Oh, that's a...
That'd only be two. You only can move two spaces at maximum.
No, I've got the force.
Oh, you do have double?
Force march.
Double. Force march. Oh, I didn't see that. Yep.
But I didn't notice the trail is not going to be cooperative there,
That is
which
true.
is a problem. Hold up. Mistakes were made. Gosh, I'd have to go all the way around through Lake George. That's awful. That's awful.
Forgot that Rumford to Northfield is not a road. Time to build it. Time to build a road.
Yeah, it might be.
And remember, you do get to move, so that's kind of that thing of like. That's the point that it was where we were talking earlier. Why would I do that? Well, it lets you move instantly. So.
Yeah, that I see the appeal a little bit more now. I was gonna work on building forts, but that is a juicy connection. Gosh, I feel like I have so much to do, and it's so much more opaque than what you need to do.
You're about to get a lot more action points here very soon, which is gonna be
and I'm about to get colonials, right?
Yep. You're about to get because I don't get anything at this next step.
Yeah.
Like that's my reinforcements. I got my reinforcements. I have what I have.
Yeah.
You kind of have better information now with that. I do not.
All right. I like the idea of starting construction of a road there with my square. Oh, now Tom's talking about how roads are a bad idea in the 1 year scenario. We have so many more actions. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's
if you
fine.
didn't do it now, you probably wouldn't want to do it in the future.
Yeah. For my triangle action, this is where I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to be doing with my triangles.
think Garrick's upset by it. Arcana.
Oh, I didn't know you liked this game so much, Tom. I'm
You can play this with 4 people. There is a variant in here. You can
yeah,
get
I
'em on
saw that
too.
mentioned how you can do like the classic war game thing of splitting up decisions among players and pretending you're all generals in the army. Uh, that's coming there. I'm gonna move that up there. One, two, no, you can just go through that way. Ah! This map is so connected.
It's not like where it's like, oh, I can shut things down like in Root or something where you're like, oh yeah, I've held the pass. It's like, wait a second.
I feel like even Maria, I was better able to shut down paths or things. This map is so intensely connected. I don't know how you ever would like take something out of supply or
I think there are
effectively.
certain spots like once you start I think when you're in the home spots there's not, but when you start pressing forward like up the like main like Lancashire plane like area
Hmm.
or like that's where like supply lines start mattering because like these can get cut off. It's mostly for army like for the regiments and stuff that they can get cut off because the light will like they'll never get cut off. There's so many like of these that you can just like, oh hey, I just trace a line through. But the armies, it's like they have to go through the highways or roads, and so there's very direct lines, and so it's very much like, oh, I can easily stop them with that. Should put a spot marker on this.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's gosh.
Time to invade the Iroquois Confederacy. That's right.
Get out of here. um yeah, I'm just
So
gonna
you got
move
little Washington down there.
I'm just gonna move Washington back to the Winchester and try to
Then that.
lightly defend the more valuable spots. All right. That took forever.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I am going to start a road construction right there.
That seems powerful. Okay. And then
Yep.
we have no combat, right?
Yep. No combat. So.
Moving on to colonials enlist, right?
Yep. So now. Okay. So you are going to draw 8 from the colonial bag.
Yeah, baby. Oh, do I need to do this one at a time so this one goes back in, or is it only going back in for the future pulls?
I think it's future pools. Let me double check. Let me look. It'd be for future pools.
Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Okay. And so with these, where you're going to be placing is going to be in the colonies of the where they are on the bottom of their band. So like New England's going to be placed up in New England, and it's going to be at any friendly space of its corresponding colony. A colonial light unit is placed on any friendly colony home space. So that's any of those spaces that have a red that are red.
So New England ones can go only to New London, or they can.
Or they can go to on they could go in New London, Northfield, Boston, Rumford, or York. Those are friendly spaces in the New England colony.
Oh, I see. This shading difference is the
Yes.
barrier.
Yep. Correct.
That is not my favorite graphic design choice.
Gosh,
Okay. Here are my boys.
you
My
got a
my
big
precious
stack.
boys. Yeah.
Now you're feeling a little happier, like, ooh, you're like, look at this army I've got
I've been
now.
looking for these boys all my life. Actually, let's toss one up in York. Okay, that's those guys. I've got 2 New York and New Jersey. New Jersey.
You could put those in Albany if you wanted to. So Albany, New York, Kingston,
Yeah,
Minnesink.
good call on
Those are
Albany because I didn't notice just how far up it goes. Let's toss one in Albany. Hey, asks. Thanks for the kind words. I'm glad you enjoy it. This guy. We'll just toss him with the Highlanders. Okay, I have a Virginia and South
so
boy.
Winchester, Alexandria, Beverly. I guess you could put it in number 6 or Charlestown, but then it's not going to be able to do anything. I don't recommend that.
Charlestown it is. Is Wills Creek an option?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go for Winchester anyway, but I figured that was good to ask. And then I had this pick one Colonial Light unit. What is that doing exactly?
So it lets you get one of the light units from up here. And then it can be placed on any friendly home space, so any red space. So it could
Got it.
even be all the way up at Oswego. Like it could go all the way out there. So any of the red.
What would be a useful place for this boy? Let's let's toss it at Lake George. Failing a better decision.
Okay. Great job. We are done with the Colonials and list. So we now will switch campaign deck to campaign deck. So your last build up card just gets discarded. And so now we'll be only drawing from the ones on the right. So just give it a good shuffle. So okay. So now we are in the campaign season. Action round 4. So we'll draw 1 from the campaign deck. And we'll do the same thing. I need to discard the ones from right there.
Oh, that's a pretty cool card. No landing penalty. Shame that we didn't go for Tom's idea. Hard to argue with those actions, though. Just like London season. All right, ready, Freddie?
Yep.
A right to plunder and captives. In first successful raid by an Indian unit. Oh, cool. And then you have initiative on me?
Yes. So I will. I think I'm gonna go first, but
You go first? Never.
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. So I'm gonna do a couple things. So with my first Indian AP, I'm gonna go 1, 2. I'm going for Easton again.
You fool. Ready?
Yep.
Come on, don't fail me, dice. Don't fail me. I need this. You failed me.
Let's see if I have success. Yeah.
Rigged.
Easton is on fire.
Rigged.
Oh, wait, and because of that, this guy just goes back there.
Rigged.
I rigged all the dice before this. Okay, I gain 2. Sends that, and I gain 1 victory point. Okay, I have another Indian action point. I'm going to 1, 2, 3. Do I want to do that? No. I think I'm actually just going to go 1.
I regret playing
2.
the British. I should have played the French.
3.
I should have known from my name.
I'm going to Ticonderoga with those Indian units. Yep, that's what I'm going to do with those. And then the final... I don't think I'm going to use a free action. Grab both of these. Go 1, 2, and then 3. Move this all up there. Okay. That is it.
Okay. And you didn't reserve any of those. Okay. So I have 3 squares and a triangle. Let us finish this construction. We need a fort there. Are these forts named? Do they matter?
The name does not matter. Oh, did we had a raid on Easton, right? Did I put that down there? Did it go away?
No, it's down there, way beneath.
Oh, it's down there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Are these supposed to correspond to spaces, or are they just names?
I think they're just names.
Okay.
But they should be just names.
Yeah. Come here. Come here. Making our way downtown.
It's just names.
Okay. And then let's also finish this road construction over here. And
Garrick's like, and the rule that I didn't think mattered now matters.
yeah, let's move our stack over.
Freddie, I did not make this mod. I do not know who made this mod. I have to go look. I edited parts of the mod just to make it easier for scenario 1. But
I need to put a spent marker. All right, that's 2 of my squares. I have a square and a triangle left over. Let's Let's move these boys 1 and 2. And then I have a triangle action, which we will use. We're going to move back into here, which should take it back under my control, right?
Yep.
And that's going to be my actions.
Okay. Get rid of all these spent markers. Yeah, that would be truly the thing I'd want is just a clear, like.
I could probably hack that in if I look at the code for the there's markers for that in one of the coin mods. I could probably hack
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Ooh, that's spicy. Is Andrew not a man of nature facts? Joe.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay.
That is what I'm picking, but.
All right,
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
It is apparently a very disease-ridden
Small-
round.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So you are taking 2 of them, and then 2 of them are. So this one doesn't hurt as much in in our scenario, but it would hurt a lot in the like campaign, because then I just lose these. Like they're just out. Like I don't have them anymore in the future. So, and we have a bunch of action route start stuff.
What's
so
the order of
we'll do this
operation
before-
if we have multiple? I forget.
It'll be first player followed by second player. So you're choosing who is the first player, and then we'll do it in that order.
Got it.
So I will be able to. I get to eliminate, or it's your choice. You eliminate 1 brigade.
Gross. I guess let's have myself go first.
Okay.
So my AR start will resolve first. 2 French-controlled Indian units are placed on the losses box. British player's choice.
Yep. So it's your choice for that. So we got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, here.
Let's
Got some like
grab. Let's grab both the ones from Ticonderoga. How's that?
Oh, you monster. I do enjoy this part of it. Like, it's really interesting how you can then have. And then I'll just grab 2 of these and remove them.
Yep.
It doesn't matter for the scenario, but I'll just remove them to resolve my AR start. And then, Garrick, you have to choose one of your
Brigades to remove.
brigades. There was so much disease. This is the round of disease.
Yeah, what a horrible round for disease.
Do not choose the Highland. Oh, good.
I'm
gosh.
not choosing the Highland. Don't you worry. We'll let the New England brigade here die.
Okay. You get to go first, sir.
Okay. I have a 2 times anchor square and a normal square. Ask, thanks for the prime sub. Kind words and a prime sub. Thank you so much. It's really kind. This feels like a potentially interesting turn to swing at Chinook 2. Chinook 2 or something. Because I could use the 2 times sail to immediately
Yep.
move something in.
That is correct.
So let's maybe try that because who knows? I'm already losing. Let's use the 2 times square to move this fleet and this artillery. Is it fleet in there, right? Yeah, there it is. Straight to here.
You do get a landing penalty.
True. And we'll use the other square to move this stack minus the fleet in there. And we'll see what happens. Anyway,
Okay.
that's what I got.
Okay. I have 1 2 times.
I did, Tom. I brought it all.
I have a 2 triangle. So let's think about this.
Unless there's more I could have brought. But that feels like plenty anyway.
I'm going to use the move twice to grab these 2. So I'm going to move 1 space to Le Troy, then to Montreal, then to here, and then the final is going to move.
That's the Trois Rivières. 3 rivers.
I never took French, so I'm so sorry. So now I am in Ticonderoga with that giant army. Come at me. Okay, then
That's gross. Don't like that.
3 APs. We are going to use this. We'll use this Indian unit to raid.
Tom, I can barely say my R's. I can't roll them.
Garrick. As us we go.
Yes. Roll in. Mother.
Success. I'm trying to remember if. Let me double check one thing. Okay. I just need to make sure a fort in a normal space didn't count an extra point, which it does not. So I think it's just 1 is right here. Yeah. And so then this Indian unit goes away. So that was my Indian AP. I've got 2 more light AP. I will use this one to go 1 2 to Winchester.
All right, let me roll to intercept. Come on. Hit for once.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that one goes back. And then this other one is going to go run down.
All right. Easy peasy. We got this. Intercept again, just like you just did. Is that one an intercept?
Nope. No, that's not. Do you have a light unit there? Oh, wait, you do, don't you?
I do.
No. Oh, wait, so no,
He's over here. He's over here.
Okay, no, it is not. Success.
Any more units?
Here is the. This guy goes there. So 2 more.
How do I enlist some people? I need more people.
And I did 1 2 times. Yep, that's it. Okay, we go to our battle.
Oh yeah, we have a battle.
Do you have a battle?
Big boy battle.
Okay. Big boy battle.
Oh god, why do I have 3 artillery in there?
You have so much artillery in there. Okay. So let's get everything
They really do.
set up
They really
for
do,
the
Tom.
battle. So battle penalties. Um, so you have a landing marker, so that's -1.
Yep.
You also are attacking fort, so
So
it's
it's
another
another
minus
minus
one.
one.
And that should be it. I don't think there's any other penalties. So you will now roll for your light unit, then your brigade, and then you're going to roll for all of your fleets and artillery.
Yep. That's a flag, which is an advanced one, right?
Yep.
There. And then I roll for my 1 brigade. That's the complicated one.
Does not do anything because we do not have any metropolitan brigades or other brigades.
Mine's are metropolitan, isn't it?
No, but you don't have anything to hit me.
Yeah. Okay. And then I need to roll 4 dice. That's not a roll. Hold on.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
2 advances and then 2 hits.
So yeah, so you let me double check.
Yeah, what's the order of operation on that?
Yeah. Okay, so first is hit checks, then B and Bayonets Tomahawks, then flags, and then fourth misses.
Okay.
So the first one is going to be the circle. So the circle can hit the fort.
Well, the first one just advances.
So but I was saying it can hit the fort and you have a circle, so it allows you to advance. It's not going to do a hit, but it allows you to have a successful hit.
Got it.
Then you have the second one, which will now
advance and hit.
Advance and hit. So the fort B gets reduced.
And then I have 2 flags.
Two flags.
Puts me up at 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I have 2 rolls with my light units.
Nice.
And then I have 1 roll with my fort.
Okay.
Which is successful. It does deal a hit.
Yes. So I will. Ooh.
So it's the brigade actually that gets.
Oh, the brigade.
Yep. And then you win. So let's double check.
Fort took only 1 hit, Tom.
There. So you cannot overwhelm. I think. Let me double check. Let me read this really quickly.
First hit took me from 0 to 1. First triangle circle took me from 0 to 1. Second one took me from 1 to 2. Unless the 0 to 1 should have.
So it's not routed because you're not 3 or more spaces above. Yeah, so I just have to retreat. So both of these are retreating north.
Actually, should that first triangle circle have hit? Because it's advance, then if it's above 0, apply the hit?
Oh, yes, it should have. So yes, this fort should go away. You're correct. Yep, sorry about that.
You're fine. I was figuring it out as we spoke.
So then, yep, and so then these 2 units go north. Let me make sure I don't have to lose any, because there's some stuff where. Middle check. Yeah, so there's no routing, so we don't lose any. There's no units being lost. I just retreat. So, but yeah, so you move into this spot. You get one of your control markers. And you gain a victory point. So that goes back. 1 to the right. Good job, Garrick.
Woo!
Arcanum, is that an extra point beyond the point we just did? Or is that...
I'm guessing Tom's just on delay.
Okay. Okay. That should be it. So let's clean up this.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Okay. Next turn.
Yep.
Around. Here we go.
Round 6. Discard our cards over here.
Oh. Thinking for a moment. Is that something I would want? Let's try it. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Two army APs a British card and play are lost.
So you don't get any actions.
I still get
How'd
the
that
light,
feel?
don't I? I just lose the
Yes.
square.
Yeah. You just lose the square. So
Gross.
if you had
Gross.
more squares, it could have been really rough for you, but dang it.
Okay. I have the initiative, so I pick. I only have the triangle. Gosh, that's gross. I guess I'll go first. My AR start goes off. I get to either flip up to 2 reduced British units to full, excluding a fort, or place 1 unit from British losses box onto a friendly home space. I'll go ahead and place this New England colonial guy.
In New England.
Yeah. Let's put him.
And actually, it does say in a friendly home space, so I think it might circumvent the normal setup rules. Oh no, it says a space in its colony. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't see the.
Yeah. It's going to go back on Rumford.
That makes sense. I like the correlation of the rules there.
Yeah. And then your start reduces my actions, and then I'm going first. Is there anything I need the initiative for with this triangle action? I barely know what to do with my triangle actions in the first place. I'm just going to save it as a reaction and let you take your turn.
Okay. So I've got 3 triangles. 2 of them are Indian. 1 is normal, and then I've got a sail normal. Okay, so
Oh, this could really hurt.
what I'm gonna do.
Pre-raid in Acadia? Up there.
Nice little army there. Okay, I'm gonna use this first triangle to run down to Northfield and try to raid.
Okay.
You just roll 1 die.
Just 1 die even with all those guys?
Yep,
So
yep,
sad.
yep.
So sad.
I was double checking that before while you were doing your turn.
Flag. Nice.
Okay, so that goes up there. I will send this one down. Do the same thing.
Don't you only have the 1 normal triangle?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have the. I could use the army if I wanted to.
True. You could use the army.
But it's good to make that point so people know. I'm gonna use one of my Indian APs to move up there.
It's a shame. I was trying to.
Those 2 units are going
Have a
up
good
there.
night, Tom. I was hoping
And then
to
the other
invade that. We can still try.
The Indian that's right here is going to raid this little village right here.
The one it's in?
I think so.
Okay.
So I'm going to...
Can you raid it even though you control it?
Yep.
Okay.
You can.
Gross.
Success. It should be just one. It goes away. And so I just have my army movement still. I will use that for the Indian. Or sorry, the light AP then. I'll use it to wait, I can't use it to raid though, so that doesn't make any sense. I can use it as a normal movement, but I can't use it to raid. So then let's think about this. One, two, three. Removing them that.
All right, all done?
Yep.
And then I have my one reaction. I'm going to move this guy up there. Am I? Do I like that? No, you know what? We'll move this one down there.
From like to okay. Sweet.
All right. I think I like that more. I can regret it later. Okay. That's the round.
Okay. Okay, we're going to action round 7. We only got 3 more left.
I got you on the ropes.
You got me, Garrett.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What's yours? 2 bonus raid points for a single successful raid performed with an Indian or French AP. French player's choice. Bonus is applicable after the raid roll. Gross. Gross. Okay, well, I have initiative. I'll go ahead and go first. Let's use a square to finish your road up here. Hi.
Hello.
I think one of those is a boat, so I need to stay behind. Gotta find it. There it is. Put that on there. That's 1 square down. I have a square with an anchor, a normal square, and a triangle left over. Let's What do you still have left to raid? You've gotten so much of the map. What's your target? Ah, goodness. We'll use a square to move 1, 2. We'll use the other square to move. Does it even get me anything to fight there? I haven't internalized the combat system well enough.
So with that, you won't be able to deal any hits because you're not matching the same unit. You could win, which just pushed me back, but it wouldn't be super efficient, I would say.
Yeah. Hmm. Let's... New plan. We'll use the triangle to move these here, and one of the squares to move these in here. That leaves me with one square. I'll go ahead and bank it. We'll go with that.
Okay. So we're having a battle here.
And up in that place.
Oh man. Okay. I hate that you put that there. It's good. Okay. So I think the first thing we're gonna do is gonna go 1. So we're gonna use the triangle AP. So go 1, 2, 3. So you will get to roll for an intercept here.
Yeah.
And then roll again there.
So let's go with the fort. All right.
Just goes back automatically. This one will try.
Okay. Let's roll.
I think. Yeah. With the
You want to think about
see.
it?
I'll do it with. I'm not going to do it with this guy. I'm actually going to do it with the Indian unit. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing.
Ready?
Yep. Okay. So
and now the other one. Come on, baby.
Okay. Now see if I can roll for success.
Dang.
So it's a raid. Albany. This Indian unit's going to go away. And that gives me 5. So 1, 2, 3.
Because of the event, right?
Yep. Because of the event. So gives me another victory point. Yep. 3 + 2. Oh wait, what'd you roll?
Oh, what did I roll? Because I rolled a miss with this stack.
Yes, you did roll.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. That stinks.
That does stink.
You did have the Mohawk unit there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was 1 Indian AP. The other Indian AP is gonna go 1, 2, 3 over to Willis to Will's Creek.
Okay.
That is a success. And then I have a 2 times and an army AP. Use my 2 times to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh no, they're all
good gosh.
wounded.
I hate these sticks. We'll have another battle down there. Okay. And then I have my last with my army AP, which
Something tells me Washington ain't gonna make it.
question is, do I move it to Lake George? I could.
That's true. No's 37. Don't like that. Not one bit.
Make sure everything's alive on there. I'll move it to Lake George, so. And I get 1 victory point.
That's all your actions?
Yep.
All right, I've got the 1 square reaction.
Just so you know, battles are resolved top to bottom on the board, so.
Okay. I'm a fool, so let's go all in. Let me make sure none of these are forts or anything. Nope. All good. Oh, there's a raid in there.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. Let's see what happens. Okay. Resolving battles time?
Yep. We'll start in the north.
Start in the north. Oh, look, there's a leader in there.
There is, and so that will get placed. Okay, 1 second. That gets placed up on the at the 2. So that will give me
2 rerolls.
Yes, and let me double check
It's for triangles, right? Because that's what he indicates.
I believe that is correct. Yep, that is correct. Which is actually pretty nice because I got a ton of triangles.
Okay.
Okay.
That's...
You are the attacker.
Yep.
You should not have any battle penalties. Yep. There.
Okay, I also have my event, which in 1 battle lets me reroll my artillery units, fleets, and/or forts, up to a total of 3 rerolls of the same unit type, or split between several unit types. So effectively, I get 3 rerolls in this battle, for my artillery. Let's start with my light unit. That's a success. And then that's a hit.
So, yep.
Um,
Let me double check the order of.
I think it needs to be one of the non-Indians.
Yep.
And then I'll roll my brigade. Lame.
Yes.
And then my 3 artillery. Let's re-roll this miss. Let's re-roll it again. Says up to 3 re-rolls, right?
Yep.
What does a bayonet and tomahawk get me for an artillery?
A hit.
A hit and an advance.
Yep.
That feels pretty good then. We'll go with the hit, the bayonet and tomahawk, and the flag.
Okay, so you'd move 1, you'd apply a hit to this. You'd move 1, and this will be removed. It's going to be over here. It's killed, and you do get to draw. So shuffle and draw one of your War and Europe chits. You get to look at it, and then you'll put it up here to the top right. Say face down, reveal at the end. So.
Yep.
Okay, and then did you gain your other?
I did not get my flag yet, so I'm up to 4.
Okay. So I have 4 light units to roll for.
Pretty good.
It is pretty good. And then let me double check something. Okay.
So I will re-roll this one with the commander, so I move it down 1.
Okay.
That is a 6. So, okay, so I do hits first, so 1, so your light unit gets reduced, and then I go 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna roll for my brigade.
Nice.
F1. And then I'm going to roll
fleet.
for fleet.
Nice.
Should then. Yep, that should deal a hit. 2. Let me double check. I think a fleet, because it's not a. It shouldn't be your. It should be.
Artillery.
It should be an artillery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then did I move it up yet for that one?
I'm not sure.
Let me think. Okay, so I rolled.
But I don't think it matters because it's not going to change the outcome.
No, because it won't make me route you.
Yeah.
Because it'd only be here. So okay. So yeah, so I win the battle.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to retreat. My commander back.
Yeah. And then we're on to the next battle. So I'll roll 2 for my 2 light units. Okay, that's going to be a hit and a flag.
I roll for my 2 light units. That is a
miss and a miss, I believe.
Yeah, miss and a miss.
Okay. So I have to retreat. So I will retreat them back to Ticonderoga.
Makes sense. And then
Now
we're
we
on
gotta go
to
into this
Yeah.
monstrosity down here. Man, this is a big fighting round.
It is. You have another leader.
I am the defender in this one.
Yep.
As well, because I got here first. Which that's the next priority. It's like whoever moved into space first.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I have 1 light unit. So let's go ahead and roll for that. It's a flag. Moving on to my brigadiers, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them.
Yes, and then remember you will get a reroll of the Highland, which you might need to roll that separately.
Yeah, let me know.
Yes, they're separate. So you're going to roll your Highland Brigade,
Sure.
then your Metropolitan, and then your non-Metropolitan.
All right, here's my Highland. It's a flag.
That's a success.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. Now the Metropolitan. That is a miss. And then let's do the 4 normals. 1, 3, and 4. Okay, 2 bayonets and tomahawks, and 1 flag. So
it's going to... Okay, so you're going to be able to deal 2 hits to this Metropolitan, which will remove it.
is that right? Because they're normal brigades, so wouldn't it just remove militia?
Oh, it is militia. So yes,
It doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah,
You're correct.
So it's just the 1 flag, really.
Yep, it's just the 1 flag.
And then I have 1 artillery that rolls. That was a bad roll for me.
Sorry, I forgot that you were doing the militia or the colonials.
All right, that's a hit. And it's all you.
Okay. So I have 3 brigades to roll and then 2 artillery units. Okay, so the flag, this will be the
Bayonet Tomahawk. So it will
apply a hit
to
prioritize Metropolitan. So it will be you get to choose. Oh, sorry, shoot, I shouldn't have rolled all 3 of those together. Yep, that Canadian is my light. Is so sorry that I should not have rolled all 3 of those together.
You want to reroll 2?
Yeah, I'll reroll 2. So we'll just restart that. Sorry about that, Garrett.
You're fine.
Okay, so that's moves a 1. It deals 1 hit to your Metropolitan.
Yep.
So you get to choose. So you're going to choose that one.
Yeah, we'll choose that one.
And then I will roll for my.
You get 1 for the flag, don't you?
Oh yes, and I get 1 for the flag.
Yep. And then your Canadian. Nice.
Gives me a flag. And now my 2 artillery. Two flags. Okay. Get back, you.
All right, all right. And then one more.
One more.
Oh yeah, your people are just ganging up on my poor Washington.
Oh, actually, he should probably have just moved back. Actually, he was overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, he was overwhelmed. So that wouldn't have been a battle at all. Did you want to continue moving or anything in that case? If we can do so without changing everything.
No, let's just keep it like that. I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
I like the threat of being there. I don't need to move farther ahead on that one yet.
Yeah, I don't like that threat. Okay, on to the next round.
Yep. Action round 8. You got 2 more to go.
I could heal some of my people. I could get some sick rerolls.
Sometimes I hate these. Oh boy, where the hell is this thing? Oh gosh. Let's see. Okay, I had to find that. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Oh, actually, I might be fine. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. That's good, at least. Hmm.
I think I'm going to lose horribly.
Do that. Ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, shoot.
What are these sneaky tactics you're doing?
It's not sneaky tactics. It's not sneaky tactics.
All right, our initiative is tied, so you get to choose.
I will let. Ooh. I guess actually I will go first. I'll go first so I can have a reaction AP.
Okay, your event.
My event actually will not happen. So it does happen because you do not have any of these, but the reason it does not happen is I believe all of them are already in the losses box and they are gone. So
Gotcha.
Because there's the Delaware, the Mingo's right there, and then it's the other one is the Chaquanon. But let me double check. I think yes, this one.
Yeah.
So they have already disappeared, and so I got away from that. Thank goodness. I was like, oh no, that would have stunk. So okay, so I am going to put in a reaction AP on this. Where am I at on this raid track? I'm at 2. At 2. I go to here with this Indian unit. And then I'll move all these down there, which
Don't
will
like that.
overwhelm.
Don't like that.
Is it over? I need to double check that. Let me check the overwhelm rules because I need to double check with the militia. And each militia counts towards it, so it is not overwhelmed.
Okay.
So a battle will occur there. And that is it.
You're all done?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna use 1 square to move 1. Did you have any triangles in here?
No.
No. We're gonna move 1, 2, 3, dropping 1 off. We're gonna use another square We're just gonna come right back in. We like you. And we'll use another square. Do the same thing up here. That's 3 of my squares. I've got one more. Um,
Everything down here has been rated.
yeah, I mean you're down to like a couple of the one spots now.
The one spots down here. It's up north is where it's like, I guess for me is rate like up here. There's a couple.
Yeah. We'll just move this guy over there. Try and be in the way. Okay, and then you have your reaction.
Okay, I'm just gonna move these light units down here.
Okay. Let's go to battle. Starting up here.
Oh shoot, this
yeah.
commander need to go back down to that.
Down there. Okay, I'll roll my 1 light unit. It's a flag. I'll roll my 1 square unit. It's a flag. And I'll roll my 3 artillery. It's going to be 2 hits and a flag.
Fleet.
Yeah.
So fleet would be going away.
1, 2, and flag. All right, all you.
Okay. So I've got my 4.
Oh, should I have gotten a point for taking?
Yes, I gave you that point.
You did? Okay, cool.
Yep. And we can always, yeah, I did give you that point. Yep.
I believe you.
Because that was the one that Tom had asked about.
That's right. I do remember that.
Okay, so this guy will get eliminated, so I'll go to your losses box.
Yep.
But I do not get the second one because there's no others to take it, so it actually doesn't count as a hit.
Okay, and then you have 2 flags.
So this goes down here, and then I've got 2 flags, so... Oh, actually, shoot, because it doesn't count as a hit. I'm going to use my reroll on this one of these.
Oh, sure.
So I'm going to move that down. And I'll use the other reroll. Like, why not?
Nice.
Okay. That gives me 2 more.
Yep. The 2 flags.
And then
the one for the fleet.
1 ship. Yep. Which does deal a hit, which will remove the artillery.
Okay.
Okay. You succeeded, good sir.
Woo!
So all these are going to retreat back over here. You do take control. It is not a victory point space, so...
No, it is not.
Okay. Let's move down to Lake George.
And you didn't roll any true misses, right? It was all bayonet and tomahawk misses?
Yep, it was only bayonet. Okay. Yeah, if it was a true miss, I would have had the commander reroll check. Yep. Yep, it was only bayonet and tomahawk misses, so...
All right.
I wish there was a little box. I think my
Yeah.
only like there. I wish there was a little box for all. Like you could just throw these in for a second.
This could really use some sort of combat box. Okay, yeah, I have 1 light unit, so let's go ahead and roll that first. That's a flag. Nice. Next, I have the Highland Brigade. And then in this battle, I have my event. I can reroll my Metropolitan and/or Highland Brigades up to 3 rerolls of the same unit type, or split between both unit types.
Your Highland already gets the 1, so if you could use that, and then you'd be able to get to like the 3 with the regular one. So
yeah,
you got a lot of rerolls.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
trying the Highland.
I wish it was more for the brigade, the colonial.
What does a Highland do with a B and
if it can hit a brigade, so it will remove this guy.
All right, we'll keep that then.
Put that over there, but I have it.
Does that advance the flag?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next, rolling the Metropolitan. Ooh, let's use a reroll on that. Down to 2 rerolls. Oof. May as well try it again. No real reason not to use it now versus later. Oh, actually, it's better now because it can hit better with a B&T, right?
Yep.
Flag. I'll take that.
Okay.
And I have 1 reroll remaining by my count. For...
Well, it is only Metropolitan or Highland Brigade. So
you're right.
If you want to use it, you have to use it now.
Nope. Yeah. We're good with the flag.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going to be 2 hits.
Yep.
Advancing 2 spaces for that. 1 for the flag, and then the B&T does nothing.
And so, let me double check. So first go to my non-metro.
It doesn't go to the. So it will destroy this Canadian unit.
Yes. Then. Destroy it. And then finally, my artillery rolls once. Roll this one over here. It's going to be a hit. And that's me.
Okay. I've got 2 light units. And my commander does help me re-roll those. So.
Nice.
I will re-roll once with the commander on this guy. Use my last re-roll to re-roll one more time. Dang it. Oh, hurt myself, but I was trying to.
All right, and that kills my Indian.
Oh, I don't know why I did that. I should have kept it. That I forgot that it was an Indian. Dang it.
I also forgot that was an Indian. You can fix it if you want. You can just take those rerolls back.
Okay. Thank you,
Garrett.
I don't know why I did that. That made no sense. I was like, oh yeah, I should. Oh yeah, they only have 1 health. It doesn't.
Yeah, I forgot it was an Indian until I went to flip it, and I was like, oops.
Okay, so now I'm gonna roll with my Metropolitan.
Yes.
Ooh. And I'm gonna roll with my Canadian.
Do you need to do death checks now or later?
That is. Let me double check actually, because I think it's no. The death check is only when you're re-rolling and you get that. That is the only when you get that. It's in 13.5.1. If a reroll graded by commander yields a missed result,
got
then
it.
you roll it again. Okay, that's a success. And then I've got my two artillery. So I'll deal hit and I'll gain another 2.
I damaged my artillery.
Yes. Yep. So these both go in the losses box. Garrick, you do get another chit.
Yeah, but they don't stack, right? I just pick the better of them.
You pick the better. Yep. You pick the better of them. And then my units retreat. you gain control of Lake George, which will bring your victory point total back up. And then we have a final battle down here in Carlisle.
Yep. Oh.
You'll gain 2 militia.
Yeah.
And we haven't used militia yet, but they count, I believe, as non-metropolitan brigades in regards to what we're doing.
That would make sense with them being square pieces.
Only their flag rolls count. Sorry. Oh,
Got it.
sorry. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And they cannot reroll. So, okay. So I don't have any negatives. There's no fort or anything. So we both start at 0. I am the attacker, though.
Yeah.
For the first time. Okay, so I just got 4 light units to roll for.
Just 4. Oof.
Okay, so that will kill Washington. Oh man.
Poor Washington.
Well, there goes the American Revolution here in a couple of years. It is gone. Okay, so I gained 3 spots on that track. Okay, now you need to roll for Washington and the
Yep.
2 others.
So here's Washington. It's a flag. And then rolling for the 2 militia.
They need flags.
Yeah. Like that. And that's going to be a successful defense despite Washington's death.
Okay, so then I need to retreat. Okay. That is it. There's no more battles, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
On to the final round.
Yep.
Here we go. I don't see myself turning this around, but
you're not out of it, because I mean, if you take this up here, because you control this, if you could take that, you will gain 2 victory points at the end of the game.
So what do I need to control?
You need to control 2 of my victory spaces.
Would it not be easier for me to just move up to Louisburg?
Oh,
because it's got the forts, yeah.
Bastions, yeah, they're
the bastions.
really, also, this is a coastal.
Oh, that is yeah. Good point. Good point.
It is very strong. So, and then I guess the big thing is then making sure that I don't take which Albany shouldn't be an issue. You've got stuff in the way of that. It's mostly just one of these down here. You don't want me to take one of your settled spaces, because if I do,
right,
I can get 2 victory points myself and can't counteract that. So, okay, let's draw our last thing.
Controlled. I don't think that gets me much. Oh, maybe it does. Maybe I could try a cute little rush down here. Maybe. Give me a second. I gotta check a rule.
No worries.
I've gotta check if I get those Indians when I take control of it. Yeah. seems like a cute idea. The alternative is to like place one of my lost units back into Carlisle or something. Okay, yeah, we'll try this idea. Ready?
Let me get down to there. And yep, I am.
Oh boy, lots of events. You have initiative, so you'll get to choose.
I will go first.
Gross. That wilderness ambush is sick.
Yeah, the wilderness ambush is very powerful in this last round. Double check something. Okay.
You said you're going first?
Yep, I am going first. So I'm going to use
real quick, my event resolves at AR start.
That's true.
And I need to take control of the Cherokee Indian Nation, and when I take control of that, it places one Indian at each of their spaces.
Yep, so you get these two over here.
Yeah.
And you'll just flip them over.
All right, now go ahead.
Boy, I hate that so much. Okay. That's interesting. I hate that because that is very good in regards to what. Okay, I've got 2 Indian APs. So I think I'm gonna go. Oh man, I really want to use the stage lacrosse game.
Yes, I mean,
But the thing is, I can't raid this, so it actually doesn't. I really can't use it, sadly, even though I want to.
I mean, you could just risk going through my brigade.
Well, no, it's because I've already raided. I can't raid again. That's
yeah, you've already raided there. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think it's worth it to use it on any of these because these units, honestly, with my wilderness ambush, are just much better.
Yeah.
The question is, are your Cherokee units going for something? That's the big question.
That is the big question.
You have it 2 times, which is slightly terrifying. I actually think I need to go 1, 2, 3. I think I need to cover my back line and make it that you can't move through there. So I'm going to use 1 Indian to go there. I will use the sail reaction for this. I'm honest, I'm not going to be able to use the other stage of cross game, and then I have 1 triangle, which is going to go back to that. Okay, Garrick.
Yeah. Well, you were right. The whole plan of the turn was to send these in the back line and hope I had initiative to make that happen. So now I have to think.
That wilderness ambush came at a very nice time.
Yeah, that feels decisive. Hmm. Two squares and a ×2 triangle. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have much choice. Let's use the triangle. Get these in here. Try and defend it.
You use that with the 2 times triangles that are used.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good.
Let's use one of the squares. I guess which do I feel is more likely, Ticonderoga or Miramichi?
You always do both.
Definitely not how to pronounce it. I kind of want to use one of the squares to throw another defense at Carlisle, though, but I don't know. Maybe I do have a better shot if I try both.
It's definitely hard. It's like there's 3 different pressure points right now.
Yeah.
Which one?
Is there a fort underneath all this?
There is a fort underneath all of that.
And that's not true up here?
That is not true up there.
But you also have a ton of light units up there, and I don't really hit those well without my own light units, right?
That is true. You'd have to get flags.
You have 4 light units and 2 rerolls. I have...
So with that one, if I use my event, I would have 2 on the battle track right away. And then with here, I would just have +1 on the battle track.
It seems like this is actually the better one to go for, despite the fort. So we'll use the square to move these up in here. And I really don't think I have a chance up there, so let's use my other square to bring my Metropolitan Brigade in there. Does that help me at all? Not really. It doesn't actually do anything for me, does it? Is there anything I can do to help that spot? I guess it's just getting me flags at most. Let's instead send these light units in here. Does that movement work out? I'm not skipping a space, right? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All right. Let's make that it.
Okay, and I've got my reaction.
They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe that would have been the better play one.
You can still change whatever you're doing.
Yeah, actually, if I use this one of the square actions to move the Cherokee up, I can use the ×2 triangle to bring these down.
Okay.
All the way.
One of those Cherokee would not be able to make it though, because it was here. 1, 2, 3.
Isn't it 4? Oh, they're 3. It is 3.
Yep.
Wait, can they both make it then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, they can. That's still giving me an extra 1. That feels worth. That feels worth. Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay. I'm going to use my reaction AP, and I've been double checking. So I'm using my army movement AP, which is a stack composed of any unit types. And let me double check something really quickly. One other thing I need to check. Okay. So I can't take this guy, but I can move this stack there. And that's what I will do.
Gross.
I can't move the commander because it's not a light AP. But which actually I should have done it the other way, but it doesn't matter because but I did not do it the other way. I didn't think about it like that until after. So okay, so that will be a battle up there as well.
All right, it's battle.
Because we got 3 battles.
Yeah.
Okay. Question is,
do you wilderness ambush here or somewhere else?
got 4 units.
That basically auto succeeds the battle, right?
I feel like it does. I feel like it's not worth it to use the wilderness ambush, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
So I am just going to roll my 4 dice. I'm saying that it's like an auto succeed, and then I'm going to roll nothing. I'm just going to miss with completely.
All I need is ungodly good RNG this round.
Okay,
that is
so
not what I needed.
That is 2 plus 2, so that will win it.
Yeah.
So, no need really to roll actually, because you can't do a hit because of the ship. So the ship will just retreat.
Yep.
And then that goes away.
Yep.
So I get a victory point. Okay, let's go to do the middle.
Okay, I'm the attacker here.
Yes.
I have
There's a fort, so there should be -1.
Yep, and I have no light units. So we'll get right to the Highlander. What's that going to be for him?
That is you will remove. I have a brigade, so you can't. Oh no, do I? Yeah, I do. It's under this battle token, so it will remove that, and so you will be getting another shit at the end of this. So
this one wouldn't be a hit though, right? Because I'm at -1 and it pushes me to 0.
Oh, correct. Yes, you are at -1.
But we'll keep that, and then we'll go for my Metropolitan Brigade. Come on.
Okay, that should deal the hit then.
Yep, that deals the hit and pushes me into 1. And now I roll my 4 brigades. Okay.
2.
1 hit and then just 1 flag.
Yep. Oh, actually.
Oh no, it's no hit.
Not a hit.
Yeah, it's just a flag.
Yep.
Perfect. And then we'll roll the artillery. Whoopsie. And that's going to be a hit.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, that's...
Oh wait, actually, sorry.
Because you have...
Enemy brigade can receive a hit. I don't have a brigade left because it died.
Brigade. Got it. Unfortunate. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I've got 2. light units.
And
I
2
want
rerolls.
flags on these. I'll reroll once, so I'll move that down. Okay, that gives me 2. I've got my brigade. Does not hit. I've got my fort that rolls. Goes up by with the flag. And I've got my 2 artillery. One hit, and then nothing. The 1 hit will hit the artillery and remove it.
Okay.
So I win that. You do get a shit. Oh, I should win it by 1 more. I didn't do my special
Oh yeah.
thing, which should have happened with that one. So, which let me double check actually, because you supposedly I think you might be routed. Yeah, I would actually route you.
Oh, you'd route me. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
so
talk about routing then.
route. So you just would get this route penalty.
And pretty much what this does, so one of your route units is eliminated. It must be an artillery unit if possible.
So then if it's not that, it's going to be just like your next unit that either you'd probably do a New England unit, like a colonial.
Yeah, I would.
And then, yep, then you just will move it back. You'll just retreat it, that single space. And I think that's it. And then if we kept going, we'd try to see if it rallied or not, or if they stay routed. So
Gotcha.
okay, so now we have this battle down here. So you've got 2 militia to add to it.
Yes, I do. Nope.
I've got 4 dice to roll. Okay, so I just move up 2. Roll your dice. So you got 3 lights.
Yes.
That's 2 successes.
Yep.
And then
2 militia.
which pretty much means you're going to win it. So
Only if I roll. Oh yeah, because I'm on defense.
Yep.
Yeah. And I rolled a flag anyway.
Yep. And that's big because that's a lot of points by taking that one as well. So.
okay. That was the last action round.
And then that's the end of the game.
Yep. So we would then perform a victory check. Let me double check. So we see who gets bonus VPs for current year of scenario.
I don't get any because I didn't take your settled space from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe you get any because
I think I only have the 1. No, that's not even a victory space anymore. Yeah, I lost the 1.
Yeah. So okay, and then
what is your
whatever points you get for this is what you get.
Yep, and that is a 2.
Oh. And then yeah, I think that's it.
That's it.
So I win by barely a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Good job.
Just needed 1 more point. If I hadn't lost this, that was a good move on your part.
Yeah, that was why I was like, and then like kind of sneaking in the back door to take that. And well, I think the biggest thing was genuinely this whole wilderness ambush because it allowed me to. It was such a threat for you for these 2. Like instead of you pushing for both of them,
right?
It was like, let's go for 1 and try to defend back here.
It was also just you had enough pieces here that I had to spend 2 actions shoring it up, and
yes.
I just didn't have the actions to defend and assault on 2 fronts.
Yes. Which I do understand where it's like
spending the APs early. Like it's weird. It's like it's important to start, but it also can feel like almost wasted at times too. Like where it's like, oh, I don't think it was bad what you like because you built forts and stuff.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard balance. There's so much space, and so it just
Right. The map is so big. It was hard for me to know what I should be doing until your options had collapsed down a bit by rating so
yes.
much.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because it's like you almost need me to like it's hard because you don't want that. You don't want me to gain like because I gained like 2 victory points from raiding, which is I mean a decent amount. Like it pushed me towards like
Right.
but so then it's like you're like, oh well now I know where you're gonna be going in the future for raiding, but it's like, like where do I go after that? The thing that stinks about the Cherokee Nation is that like you got them kind of late, and I think if you got them a little earlier, that could have been pretty awful for me because I did at that point. Like if you had gotten it earlier, I didn't have a lot. I'd used a lot of my Indian units down there
Yeah.
to go raiding, and so then you would have had to be you'd have been able to like run around back lines, and
I mean,
I'd have had to
honestly,
push pressure back.
if I'd even just had initiative on this turn, these guys would have made it to one of
Oh,
these cities back here.
And that would have gotten it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would have been pretty devastating. It was very close. What was your reserve card you still had?
It was one of the ones that either heals 2 people or puts back a loss.
Okay. Mine was to be if I was going against the British fort, help me out. So
Mm.
I was kind of holding on to that from like the round from pretty early on because I was like, okay, if I have to fight a fort, I want this in my back pocket. So what do you think about the whole like action system with the it's kind of like a like whatever what do you call it? It's a CDG or whatever.
A yeah, it's kind of like a card-driven game. It's interesting. Like it really feels like a sort of merging of like commands and colors with a more traditional point-to-point CDG-esque thing. It doesn't really have the like ops versus events of a CDG because you get the event and the actions, but having like the types of units you activate, the dice-based system that has symbols matching the pieces feels very commands and colors in a way, but in a very different format, being this much higher scope abstracted map as opposed to a small scale tactical hex map. And then you have these cool events as opposed to the powers that CNC has. So it's cool.
Events I love them because they make you almost all of them are like devastating to you or your opponent, and sometimes they're devastating to you, and sometimes they're just like, and it's like, oh my gosh, like what am I, like like what do I do now? Like it makes I like it because it really throws wrenches in your plans. Like it really puts pressure on you to make smart decisions and think through things because you can lose a lot from an event.
I like the factional asymmetry a lot, where the British feel more like they feel like a sort of traditional counterinsurgent faction, and the French are, launching insurgent raids, and they also have the Indian cards as a variable supplement that gives them interesting texture to what they can do on a turn.
100%. Yeah, it's really I think the width of how much like it's like you're fighting down in the south, but it's like so like there's such a amount of like where things are moving. It's like where you start sending them, that's where they're going. Like they're not you can't like switch a whole theater to a whole other side because you just don't have enough action points.
Yeah.
At least in a single scenario to do it and to move it on and everything like that.
In a bigger scope scenario, that could change a little bit. You have more time to send things to here and readjust them to up here or vice versa.
Yeah, it was only a little over 3 hours for a good first teach and everything and talking through everything. So that was good.
Yeah, that was pretty good time wise.
So we can at some point then try the second scenario. Or we can do the first scenario again and see how you like it. But we
can swap factions and I can kick your butt.
Yep, we can do that because there's scenario 1. Obviously, you can play both, and then you've got the second scenario, which is in 1757.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a third one, and then the fourth, I believe, is just all. I think it's all the whole, all doing the full like campaign over multiple years. So
Well, thanks for teaching, Luke, and thanks for playing with me.
Of course.
And I guess I should thank everyone for watching.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
We'll have more war game stuff erratically in the future with the holidays. And we'll have stuff more consistently from then on. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great night. If you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. We really appreciate it. Have a great one.
See you, everyone.